LSOS. You know, you guys were awesome. Yeah. Hey, man. There's some great people over here.
Yeah, Neri, just take us back to like really just carp and like growing up in Carpinteria, what that city's like, and just kind of like what foundation was like built there for you.
I think what it built for me was like no one was really wearing like at that time like 2014, 2015 like Supreme. No one was really into that. So for me it was like my cousin showing me like all these brands and me like gravitating towards them like right away.
Yeah.
And then me like wearing all this stuff and people from that small city were like, what is that? Like why do you wear this so much? Like
Yeah.
like what is this? And now you go, now everyone's wearing it. So it's
Yeah.
like I feel like
Super
they were behind at the time.
Yeah.
And like even now they're still a little behind, but like
Yeah.
that's just like a small city. Like stuff hits there like later.
And you grew up there, right? Like you were born and raised in
I
Carp?
grew up there, elementary, middle school, high school.
And then even like as far as like all like your models go, like for some of your Instagram, like even for like Wrath, right, which like we'll touch on later, like those are all like your friends that you met there, like super
bro.
tight in a
yeah,
circle.
well that's the thing is that Wrath, when I started that was like high school with my friends, and I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna make some cool little shirts, and like we'll just wear them, like it'll be cool, like some like homies, you know, like it wasn't, I never thought about it like, oh, I'm gonna build this like brand and people are actually gonna like it. I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna make some shirts and just hand them to my friends. Like,
so it was more of like a platform. You're like,
yeah,
decided,
it was like, yeah, I'm gonna just start, like, just kind of like let me do this and see where it goes type thing.
Yeah. And then once you started creating Wrath, I'm assuming like ideas started going, and then all of you guys got older, you guys started getting cars, and then like even like motorcycles and things like that.
Bro.
But I bring that up because it brings up like some sort of like diversity and differentiation when it comes to like having like, I think like JJ like on his motorcycle and like things like that, and just having like everyone linked up and tight.
Yeah, I think that like obviously when I started I wasn't able to showcase like what I wanted in terms of like graphics because I didn't really know, you know, like Photoshop. And like now it's like, okay, I can have something in mind and I can more so create it or curate it. And it's just like at this point, like what I'm putting out is like dope because it like all my friends are into different things now. Like before it was like more tight knit.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, like
someone's like,
yeah, they're over there, they're over there. Like
that's natural.
Yeah,
natural progression.
Yeah, I mean, but they're all still my friends, you know. And it's cool. I love it. Like I love it. It's just a different perspective.
Where did you start with like graphic design? Like how did you first kind of put like your feet in the water per se?
I was in high school. It was my junior year, and I needed one more elective, and so like they randomly just assign you an elective, so they put me in graphic design.
Yeah,
and like I didn't want to do it then. I wanted to wait till like my first year of college or something, and so I like sat there and I told like the teacher, I was like, yo, like I want to get out. Like, can you sign this so I can get out of here? And he like looked at me dead in the face and he's like, why don't you learn some Photoshop? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna learn some Photoshop, bro.
Saved
like,
your life.
I was like, for sure, bro. Like whatever you say, bro. Like,
and little did you know it was gonna be super useful down the line.
No, yeah, for sure. And like, it taught me. It didn't teach me how to use it because that you don't never really stop learning how to use it. Like
for sure.
It taught me like the fundamentals, like the things that I needed to know to start putting stuff together, to start importing stuff, like what does this do, what do these buttons do?
Because that's like a pretty
it's
tricky system, because you got to click here to get here and just to do that one thing. If you know the quick way to do it, like it'll be quicker, obviously. But if you don't, but touch on Wrath a little bit. Obviously, like recently you've rebranded, and before we get into that, like just talk about Wrath being a platform for you as a creative outlet, and kind of what that ride was like. Because how long did you have it officially as a brand, or like even from the point where you made tees?
3 years, like 3. But I wasn't taking it all that serious until like a year in. So maybe I would say like 2 years where I was really like consistently putting more and more stuff out.
Lookbooks, collections.
Yeah, things like that. Really just. And like it's funny because if you scroll down like the Instagram, you could see like my first few lookbooks are like what is that? And then it starts to go like, okay, he's getting the hang of it.
Right.
And it's like I learned as I went. Literally, like I had no mentors at the time, like no nothing. I just did it how I thought it would look cool, you know?
Yeah. So at first, what was your initial idea with Wrath?
It was like, okay, like I'm gonna make some cool stuff, like whatever I think is cool, like for me and my friends, and
USB drives.
Yeah, we're gonna make the most random cool stuff, and I'm gonna just put it out. And like it was fun and all this, and then I mean, I could touch on the rebrand a little bit, where it was like, okay, I'm putting out all these graphics and they're dope and they're getting better and this, but like, what am I aiming towards? Like, what's my goal, and like, who am I trying to reach with my brand? Like,
what are you aiming towards?
I think what I'm aiming towards is like being as inspirational as I can, reaching as many people as I can, like building like an actual platform and not just like a brand. Like, for example, like one of my like ideas with Sacred now is to connect it with music. I have so many like friends, like really close friends that are into music, that can produce, that can write.
Yeah.
So like one of my ideas that I haven't even told anyone is like a mixtape hosted by me, like bringing all my friends together, like putting out a tape, like, you know, things like that. Like building like actual platform. Like before it was like, okay, I'm just putting out graphics and cool shirts and like some cool stuff, and now it's like, okay, like this is like what I want to do for real, and like what does it mean to me, and like this, like for me at least, I can't take something all that serious if there's no meaning to it. Like I have to be able to back it 110%. Like I can't just be like, oh well, it's just like whatever. Like I have to love it. Like that's one thing that I had to learn, is that if you don't absolutely love something, like you have to change. Like you can't just like be like, oh yeah, it's like whatever, it's cool, but like you have to really love what you're doing. And like if you don't love it, make the changes, and like step back and like look at what you're doing and make the necessary changes for sure.
Was that kind of like one of the intentions behind changing or going from Wrath to Sacred?
Yeah, 100%. Like the name had no meaning. It was just like, it was just honestly just a random, just whatever. Just like, hey, like I don't have a brand name. Like I'm just gonna do this because like it sounds dope.
Yeah.
But with Sacred, it's like, even just a literal definition. Like you think about life, and like everything that you do is literally sacred, because like it's like just that moment. Like you're
it builds up.
Really think about it. Like
it builds up.
Yeah. Everything that you do leads up to, you know, where you're at now.
Total sidebar. Have you ever do you read audiobooks or anything?
Not recently, but yeah, for sure.
You ever read the book Power of Now? Bro.
It's good.
It's pretty good. I'm not like too into like I'm not gonna say I'm not into it, but like I'm not like super like spiritual, like, and you know, get into like all of that, right? But a friend recommended it to me, and it just talks about how like I don't want to get too into it because I'm probably gonna explain it wrong, you know, but it essentially talks about how like there's no tomorrow, like it's always just today. It's always like, so taking advantage of what today. Advantage. But it sounds like with Wrath, like it was just kind of like, I have a lot of these ideas, I want to put these out, but you know, you can't just like
you can't just
how are you gonna do it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. And like I did love it at first, and it was great and it was amazing. And then I feel like as I got older and like I really started to think about, okay, what do I want to do with my life? And I knew it was something creative, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be my brand or, you know, everything else that I do. Like I for sure locked in, like I don't want to stop making clothes. Like I want to pursue this to my full potential.
Yeah.
And so I just had like, I had talks with all my friends that I consider creatives, you know, my close friends, and all the feedback that I got, you know, obviously some of them agreed, some of them disagreed, but for me, what stood out was like my friends just telling me that I should do what I feel is right and what I'm happy with. Like I can't just continue doing something that I like and I'm not 100% happy with. Like I have to really love it, like for real. And like ever since the whole rebrand thing, like I'm so motivated to go crazy because like I'm like that's yeah, I'm in there. Like
that's tight.
Yeah, like for sure.
And right now, one thing that I noticed too is, or not right now, but more recently, I noticed that one thing that you do more frequently, and I love seeing it because I think it's important, is you travel pretty frequently. Like I would say a handful of times a year. Like how does that serve as a source of inspiration for you? And does it?
So, starting the year, I told myself I wanted to travel like once a month, whether it be to somewhere new, like or like a different city or just
another
like
state or something.
You know, yeah, or just something new. You know, try something new.
Yeah. And
I started off really strong. Like I went Miami and I was in New York for that store opening. I was in Utah, Vegas, went to Mexico too. All that, like I met so many new people in every trip and everyone I met has added something cool or like taught me something new.
Some value.
It's so much value that, yeah, it's cool to travel, but well, at least with the people that I was traveling with, like, they always somehow led me to meet someone new. It was like the best thing ever, because once you start hanging out with people that have like similar interests,
right,
or are like on the same level as trying to progress with you, or trying to just create something, the people that they surround themselves with too, that you've maybe never met, like, they're dope. Like, you just don't know it yet. You don't even know who you're gonna meet.
And it sounds like you don't really have like just like a ton of yes men around you. It sounds like you have people that'll like.
No, definitely, like, like I take critique, like, you know, I'll take it, like,
for sure.
Tell me, like, if whatever, like,
if something looks
whatever. Yeah, I don't take anything to heart, like, whatever.
And the thing is too, especially if like they're your friends, then obviously they're not just gonna cuss at you and like, you know, be super demeaning. It's like yo, let me tell you this because so and so and XYZ. So traveling a lot for Wrath, you now do a little bit of a rebrand towards Sacred.
Yeah.
Sacred now is a different chapter, obviously, in terms of your development, in terms of your artistic ability. What's something that you're looking forward to do with this brand that you weren't necessarily doing a lot with Wrath?
Well, I agree with you say. It's a different chapter, but it's a different chapter in the same book for sure.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But something different definitely is, before I was putting out crazy graphics, just a bunch of graphics. Now it's like, okay, like, I'm gonna put less graphics out, but put more time and attention into every graphic.
Yeah.
So the collections might be smaller, but there's more attention to detail. Like, I upgraded the quality. My website's new. Like,
that hoodie I got was crazy.
Thick, right? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Everyone tells me that. They're like, bro, like, the quality is crazy. Like, this thing put me through the snow, bro. No, but yeah, like,
even the T-shirt too. That one was like it's like a perfect blend of like thin, but it's like heavier.
Yeah,
you
it's
know
like
what
a
I mean?
perfect collar.
Yeah.
See, those are things that I didn't look at before, and now I've just grown to just think like, okay, what am I putting out, whether it be the graphics and as well as the physical product, and what am I, you know, do I like putting on my own stuff? Of course. Like, I love the quality, I love the graphics. Like, I think that's what it's more about for me now, is like, what am I putting out, and do I personally just love it? Yeah, like, I'm not putting out anything that I wouldn't wear myself and would just wear every day.
Are your stickers you too? That's all you?
Yeah.
The one that I got, the smiley face.
I haven't that graphic drops this drop.
Oh, okay. Because I saw
it's unreleased.
Oh, sorry guys.
Yeah,
that's tight.
Yeah.
And then one thing that I saw too was, one thing I noticed was you do a lot of, which I like seeing, because it seems like a couple other brands that I follow tend to do, you know, certain collections where they'll donate a certain percentage of the proceeds to certain organizations or charities, or just, you know, organizations that are out there to help a certain cause. And I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of them you did for the Humane Society. And
yeah, that was
and I like the intention behind that one, because that was more with designs focused on like canines and like dogs and things like, and that was like the hat that you had last time, right? Or a couple times ago, I think. Yeah. Where do you get that from?
Honestly, okay, so I'm sure you know that brand Awake.
For sure.
Yeah, obviously, like, I think Angelo Back is like super inspirational to me, in terms of like, if you like read his interviews and like know what he's about, he's like really big into like social issues, or like donating a lot. He donates a lot of money, and like, whether people know it or not, and like, that for me was like super inspirational, just because of the way he moves. Like, I've DM'd like Angelo and he's responded. It's like, I'm like, yo, like, this is like someone I look up to, and he's just like he's just responding like it's like, he's like, I know him.
You know what's crazy?
And I was like, yo, what? Like,
is I feel like a lot of people sleep on just like messaging people because they're like kind of big or they're kind of popular, but there's some people, depending on like, you know, your interests and things like that, where they're just super genuine. And they'll reach back out to you and like they'll share a game. And for me, I think those are some of the best relationships you can ever create, or mentors to have. When you met Griselda and you started working with them a little bit and like a couple tidbits, how important was it to you, and how pivotal has it been to have like that mentorship, if you will?
Oh, it's been crucial, like, to where I'm at now. Like, even though I don't have conversations with Westside Gunn or you know, any of the main artists, like, the people that I know are the people that I'm supposed to know. Like, yeah, like D-Jack is like the most inspirational person ever, and I'm just looking from afar, like, dang, like, this is like the craziest, this is like the busiest, like, most genuine guy that I know, and he keeps it real 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just watching from afar, but like, he may not even know, but he's been like the most inspirational person to me, like, for the longest, because I'm just watching the way he moves. It's like, he stays behind the scene, he does his thing, he's killing it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's people like that I admire, because
work ethic on 1,000.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to be broadcasted like crazy. Like, the people that know type thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and D-Jack is one of those people too where he's doing a lot of things behind the scenes. Like, yeah. And if people don't see him on camera, I feel like people sleep on those people. But those are the people that.
So see, those are the people that you have to reach out because people trying to reach out to like the artists, DMing like your favorite artist isn't gonna work. Like,
one in a million. Odds are slim though. I see. I hear what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, like, get at the people that are around the artists if you really want to connect with them. Like, chances are they're gonna see your DM, they're gonna see your work, they're gonna be interested with what you bring to the table, because an artist has so many things going on.
Yeah, like, I mean, even with Westside Gunn, right? Like, not only has he just released like works of art and like music, but now he's doing that collaboration with the Wake. Funny enough, it's funny that we're talking about that, but you know, coincidentally, it seemed like D-Jack was behind that, like 110%.
Yeah, he's a go. You like, I won't even know what exactly he did until I actually ask him, because he won't broadcast it like that.
Yeah, you like connect with him every once in a while.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I can reach out whenever. Like that's my brother for real. Like,
no way.
That's my guy. Like, man, one time, like, there was like this Nike event, and I wasn't even supposed to be taking photos there, but I was like there taking photos, and like I think he posted like a photo or something, and like Nike got mad or something. It was some crazy stuff. But like things like that mean that like we've done like some village and shit, like shit that we weren't supposed to do.
Yeah.
Just dope shit like that. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll do it. As, like, if you tell me, bro, if you're telling me like, yo, like, let's do this, like, I'm down, bro, because I know, like, I know what he's all about. Like,
yeah. And not only that, but I feel like that also probably comes from just growing up in a small city. Like, you get into like random things, you know, bro. Like probably seen and done worse, you know what I mean? Like, taking some pictures isn't really gonna hurt anyone.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, like, connections like that have been crucial to where I stand now, because it's I went from like, hey, like, I'm from the outside looking in, and don't get me wrong, I'm still from the outside looking in, but I got some perspective from the inside, and how genuine these people are, and how they move. More importantly, how they move and how they treat people. Mm-hmm. Like, man, Westside is like the most genuine person ever. Like,
no way.
If you've ever been around him, like, just the way he speaks to people, he's real. Like, he's all about art too. Like, if you have dope art, man, he's gonna notice for sure. Like,
Dr. Birds,
man, that's fire. Like, I just respect anyone around Griselda, because I know that they know who they keep around them.
It sounds like they have like a good code of ethics.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
like,
definitely.
Moral grounds.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to like keep you on the loop. Mm-hmm. And I think one thing too that I really liked about learning about you, Neri, was just the fact that, you know, your artistic ability, your ambition, and just your vision for the future really was stemmed and began since you were like super young with your parents. Yeah. Why don't you talk about a little bit about your parents, and like even that story that you shared with me about like your dad, where he had to walk like,
oh yeah,
super crazy. Because little things like that, whether you know it or not, I feel like, and I'm definitely at that same place where like I'm getting older, so I look back at moments that, you know, my parents have experienced, and I think subconsciously to some extent it's in your mind saying like, you know, these people were able to meddle through that and push through this to get to where they are now. Like, we have it like 50 times easier.
No, you know? Yeah, 100%. Like, I think I told you that my dad hitchhiked from Guatemala to here, and he told me that when he got here, he still had thorns in his feet and whatnot, and like he was taking them out for weeks. He told me Actually, which was it was crazy. I don't even know if I said this, but like maybe like a year and a half ago, he was like, "Yo, like something's poking me right here," and it was a thorn from like that. That shit was still in there. Yeah, years. Like this was like 20 years ago. No, 30 years ago type.
His body was probably rejecting it like just at that moment. Right?
And what's it's crazy that you bring that up is that I just met my brother for the first time ever last weekend from Guatemala.
How was the Bay actually? I meant to ask you.
It was cool. Well, I went to go meet my brother because he just came from Guatemala. But the same story. Like he went through hell to get here, like crazy. Like,
did he like have to like?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's, and I've never had someone tell me like their full experience until he told me, and I was like, damn, like I'm crying, and I'm like, yo, how did you do that, bro? Like if you could do that to get here, then I'm already here, and like I have all these opportunities, and you're wishing like you had all this, and I'm like, bro, like if you're here and you have opportunity, like you should just take
advantage of it.
Advantage of everything. Like the difference between you being able to be here and be able to how do I say it, like you have the ability to do anything with your life. Really, you really have the ability to do anything.
100%.
Like 100%. And if you don't take advantage of that, and if you don't do anything with your life, that's really up to you. Like that's all you, honestly.
For sure. I don't know where did I hear it recently. I heard someone, who was it? It was someone that's super successful already, but essentially they were just saying, I'm sure we've heard it several different places, where someone was like, if you just have passion behind your idea, like if you 100% just have passion, you can have the same idea as 50 other people, but if you have more passion than them, your idea is going to blow. Because guess what's going to happen when things don't go right? Like you're going to be resilient and keep going. What was one of like the bigger setbacks you've experienced, if any? Like, and I know right now being a creative, like one of the best things is that, you know, there's very few to little setbacks that you can really experience because we're just having fun. Like we're just creating, you know. But has there been a moment where like you kind of got like stuck or like something became a little bit more difficult?
Probably when I was going through the rebrand.
Yeah.
Like it took a lot of thinking, a lot of
intention.
Yeah, definitely. But other than that, like art blocks are where I'm like, dang, like I always have inspiration, but it's like, should I use this inspiration now? Should I put this out now, or should I wait? Like, how am I curating this collection? Things like that. Or, I mean, now it's a lot easier thanks to thankfully, because I linked with the Mike. But before it was like, okay, like I need to find someone to take all these photos for me. Like,
yeah,
I can take the photos, but I need like someone new in here to like bring some like a new
different
twist.
Perspective.
Yeah, different perspective, new models.
Yeah,
things like that. But
who is Mike?
So Mike has been taking most of my all the lookbook photos for me.
Okay.
He's on the team, man. That's my boy. He's he runs the vintage shop with his people. Second Aisle. They have events now. Like,
where's he at?
They're in Sherman Oaks.
Oh,
in
okay.
a store.
They're right up the way.
Yeah, right up the way. They have their physical location. They just opened. So,
wow.
Yeah, they're dope, man. I feel like all my friends are progressing to what they've envisioned, and it's dope just watching it all just happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's absolutely nuts. Well, the not one last thing, but just one thing that I wanted to also just touch base on was just the importance of being able to trust yourself with the ideas that you have. Before you made that first leap into Wrath, and even potentially making that first leap into the rebrand, how important was it for you to just like have the utmost confidence in you? And what did that look like? Like, because a lot of times, like even for me, like before we even like talk about ideas, like there's always that little moment where you're kind of like, nah, I don't want to because, you know, or whatever.
Here's the thing. I feel like as a creative, everyone has put out something that didn't sell as well, but it's like your favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's important to feel or to experience, because you're like, wow, like I really love this design, but it didn't do so well, or no one really liked it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, like no one liked it, but I still like it. But you just have to keep creating what you like and have full confidence. Like you have to make your audience like what you put out. Like don't put out what you think your audience is gonna like, because you're gonna be putting out something that you might not be 100% like.
You wouldn't necessarily.
You wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. So put out what you like and the people are gonna gravitate towards it.
Talk to us about the strength of networking and what it's done to you in terms of people that you've connected with via Wrath and Sacred, people that you've connected with through the music industry, because of course being around, you know, your mentors like Griselda and like your other friends, there's a lot of networking, and there's a lot of times where you put yourself in environments where maybe you know everyone and maybe you know nobody. So speak to the power of networking, and then just some of the, I don't want to say like, just some of the connections that you've made through the brand and clothing.
Well, through clothing, I think early on, I wasn't really like DMing people just like, yo, I'll send you clothes or whatever. I think I waited for that. I don't know. I think I've always been the type of guy where like, oh, if they really want it, they'll buy it, you know. But at some point, I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of a fair trade off, because if they're gonna like post it,
good for you, Neri.
It's gonna like,
good for you.
It's a good trade off, you know. And it's not. I'm not doing it for them to post it. Like if they want to post it, go ahead. If they don't, then don't. I don't really care about that, you know.
Yeah.
But it's more so building a genuine relationship with the people that I'm sending the clothes to. And it happened with Alex from Vlexen, and it just happened. He's a dope dude, like shows love. Like he doesn't have to show love. No one has to show love, right? But specifically him, because I'm seeing what he's doing. Like it's not just like merch. It's like a brand. It's a full brand. Like, and that's what I respect about him and his stuff, is that he can just do merch if he really wanted to. No, you know, with his name, he's doing a full brand. Like he's like doing it right too. So that's like respect to him. He's definitely like an inspiration in terms of the way that he's doing things, and like the way that he's moving. But another person that I met is C5. That's like he's an artist, and when I first met him, when I first found out about him,
Free C5.
Yeah, Free C5, man. Man, my friend was bumping, and I'm like, yo, this guy's hard. So I just went on Instagram, and I'm like, who's this guy? And then I played his music. I was like, yo, that's fire.
Yeah.
And then I think I followed him, and then he DM'd the at the time was a Wrath account. He's like, yo, dope ass clothes, bro. And then I was like, oh, like he's fucking with my shit already.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I'm gonna pull up on you and give you like a shirt or something. And he's like, bet, bro. And he was like super like appreciative.
Where's
like,
he based out of?
He's in LA.
Okay.
Super happy, super cool dude. Like, you know, and ever since then it was kind of like, yo, like, you want to pull up to like the studio or like take pictures and this and this. I was like, yeah, bro, for sure. Like, and then we did a lookbook. And yeah, he's cool. Like, free him. He's a good man, great artist.
For some context too, he did some modeling for you, right?
Yeah. He did the Wrath lookbook for me.
One of your last collections, I think.
Yeah, it was actually the the second to last drop that I ever did was him.
Because I remember
the one after that
pictures.
was like Rocky. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, free him. He's a good guy. The thing with me is like, I won't ever judge someone based off of how they look. Yeah, he has face tats and all that. Like, I don't know your past. Like, I don't know what you went through. Like,
right.
He's a dope artist, and I liked his style, and like I didn't ask any questions. Like, I just, you know, if I'm liking your style or
genuine connection, right there.
Yeah, the way that you move is like dope. I'm not gonna ask about your past or nothing.
Right.
Cool guy. But yeah, I mean through the music industry, I think that once I was more tapped in with Griselda, it was like a network of people that I met and managed to solidify those connections with, and then from there it grew to like actually someone that I follow is like knows about Griselda, and like they're an artist, and that was Radimus, and I was into his music before I was heavy on Griselda too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And he's from New York too. His music is fire, and then from there I met his manager, Brandon. He's the sorry, I'm blanking right. The A&R director. He's the A&R director at Shady Records. Yeah, which is dope. Like that's dope. That's dope as hell. He's both genuine, super cool dudes. Like we did that. I did some content for them. Definitely friends. Like the people that they brought me around were dope too. So I feel like as long as you're around dope, genuine people, the way that you network is gonna be dope and genuine people, because those same people are gonna bring you around just and their people.
And it's even when you travel and you go out, like you keep putting yourself in environments where I'm not gonna say like you're not comfortable, but environments where like you don't necessarily know everybody, and then from there that's where these relationships come from.
Yeah. It's just honestly, it's just a big part of like progressing is the way that you move.
Yeah.
How you come off to people,
for sure.
How you speak, all that.
Yeah.
Or even what you speak about, like, is a big one. Let me think. Oh, Blue Bucks Clan, which they're fire. They're hard. Blue Bucks is fire. You ever heard of Blue Bucks Clan?
I don't think so.
Blue Bucks is the hardest rap duo in LA right now. The best duo in LA for sure. They wanted like a hoodie, that hoodie that you bought. You know, the one that you copped, the Mary one. Yeah.
That one's.
They're Guap Dad 4000.
Yeah. You've gotten close.
Man, I don't even know. No, he DM'd me about wanting some stuff, but I never sent a pack. Sorry, I never sent a pack.
Really?
Never sent a pack.
Wow.
A Lil Mosey.
Okay, that's the young kid, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think too.
How do those connections begin to even be made?
It's more so like they just like a post or something, and then either I'll DM them, or they'll DM me like, yo, like your clothing is hard. I don't even know how they find it, which is like the crazier part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some of those relationships, I think I'm from right now. Oh yeah, also Benny the Butcher. Benny, yeah, dude. Benny's Jake. So Jake handles like tours. He's in charge of like tours for Griselda and like BSF. And I saw him at the place that he was staying at with Benny here in Malibu a couple weeks ago, and I was wearing that same hoodie. I was wearing it.
The one that I have?
Yeah. And he's like, bro, what brand is that? And I was like, mine. He's like, yo, I need it. And I was like, bet, bro, send like, you know, they're Griselda,
send
like send me the addy.
We can send it.
So yeah, so they have a pack on the way. Benny has a tee on the way that he wanted to. So things like that. The thing is though, I'm not like handing out my clothes to anyone. Like, it's at the end of the day, it's like it's my art. Like this is like, I take this seriously. It's not just like, oh, I'm just gonna, yeah, bro, here's free stuff. Like, nah, bro. Like,
but it also, like, speaking more like on a larger basis of like connection, you've gotten a lot of support locally from Carpinteria too.
Yeah. It was funny because when I started, I feel like people knew, but they just didn't put it out there to me that they knew. They just kind of like ignored it. And then like once I started like actually doing it, they're like, oh shit, this shit's actually hard.
Yeah, they started saying that you were serious about it. I was serious about that you were putting in time.
Because see, the thing is, like, if I come off to someone like, oh yeah, I own a brand, they're like, oh, he owns this little Instagram brand that, like, oh, like my uncle started the same shit, you know, like a little brand with like 50 followers, like,
yeah,
putting out whatever, like not paying attention to, you know, design, whatever. And then they see the Instagram, they're like, oh shit, wait, this is like actually a brand, like this is a legitimate brand, full blown, like a full website and everything.
Is there a certain criteria you hold yourself to for every single collection that you release, or is it just kind of like what comes naturally?
Well, honestly, now, like I was saying, like the quality has to be there, the graphics. Like I'm really picky about the graphics that I put out now. I don't care if I'm putting out 2 T-shirts in a collection, like they have to be fire, like to me at least, you know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, honestly, like at this point, it's like there's so many brands out. What am I bringing to the table? Or, you know, like as a brand, like
how do you differentiate?
Yeah, yourself? How do you differentiate yourself? And it's not like I'm striving to differentiate myself, but the more I progress, the more new ideas come.
The more you want to do that naturally.
The more, exactly. So, I just think that it's just oversaturated. Like right now, like everyone wants to start like a T-shirt brand, like throw a random graphic on there and sell it. Like that's dope. Don't get me wrong, do your thing, but like for me, it's like, what am I working towards? What am I trying to build?
Wise man once said, "We'll see who's around a decade from now."
And
right?
It's the same thing with music. I think Rory tweeted it. It was like, I forgot exactly what it was. It was like good music will like last forever. Like it's the same thing with anything. Like you take it into account. Like clothing, like all this fast fashion stuff is here now, but like the good stuff is here forever.
As we close off here, what are some what are some goals that you have in mind, or what are you looking forward to here, like short term for Sacred and for just for yourself in general?
Short term is to put out more cut and sew pieces, like custom, like sizing. Like these shorts are custom sized, like things like that. Like
and for clarification, when you mean cut and
sew is like yeah, sorry.
No, go for it.
So it's literally like I literally like build like the piece, like from the sizing to the fabric to the everything, to
the length
look,
of the tee is gonna be specific. So like everything.
I'm still learning. Obviously, there's things that I need to know, like tap in with more manufacturers.
For sure.
But it's all a process. Let's see, like something else. Like I was saying, like I want to do the music thing. That's probably like a bit like on the longer term side, but that's always on my mind. Like I wanna drop some fire music. I wanna curate something for my, like, you know, like with my own like creativity, and build something dope that I can. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's almost like a platform, because like people are gonna tap into it. Like,
for sure,
it's a whole platform for my friends and whoever is on there. So,
any artists from Santa Barbara that you like a lot, or have you not really necessarily linked out there?
Not really.
Honestly, no, I was just curious because I know of like some people over there, but or you know who else is Mowgli? Actually, do you know Mowgli? I don't know if you know a dude named Mowgli, but he just released an album, and it's like super West Coast, like
West Coast,
you know, like fire. I feel like I really got like an old like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg kind of feel. Like it's kind of like we'll play some right now, and you can kind of like listen to it. But yeah, there's some artists that I've thought about sitting down with too. But you know, for me too, like I think I have to be just as intentional with my interviews. Like, damn. All right, y'all, we'll just sign off like this. We'll write it out. Neri, thank you for coming out, man.
Of course, man. Appreciate you.
Here, use this.
NLSOS. You know, you guys were awesome. Yeah. Hey, man. There's some great people over here.